Hello, you lot. Leeds United have grabbed a victory over Sheffield Wednesday. Come on, Wednesday. A fantastic win. Do not take that win lightly. I was going into this one a little bit worried. It has to be said. Wednesday, 5 wins in 6. Leeds United rock up into town after a interesting performance against Huddersfield and an okay performance against Stoke City. You were expecting Sheffield Wednesday to replicate exactly what Huddersfield did, and they did within the first 20 to 25 minutes. Leeds got to grips with it at the end of the half. The sucker punch, the bit of quality, the only bit of quality that we saw in that first half, with Junior Firpo whipping a ball in, which was truly delightful. He'd had a tough first half, I thought, positionally. I thought he struggled a little bit. And overall, listen, it wasn't the best of halves from him, but at the end of the day, you know, we got that whip ball in towards the end, and it was an excellent end to the half for Leeds United. Bamford, right-footed at the end, completely onside. It was excellent, and Leeds got into it. But that first half was a struggle for Leeds United. It has to be said. Leeds really struggled to get to grips with Sheffield Wednesday, the pitch, the atmosphere a little bit, it felt like, and Leeds sort of drew into themselves. They weren't showing the qualities, the capabilities, the calibre, which was a real worry, I think, for us Leeds United fans. We know how good we are, we know how effective we are and can be in certain situations, and we were letting a team second from bottom dictate the style of the game, dictate proceedings. But Leeds got into it in the second half, and it has to be said, in that sort of first 10, 15 minutes, Leeds blew Wednesday away and really showed their quality and showed the quality that has made Leeds United a top 4 side. Listen, we've got a massive gap between Wednesday on Friday now and Millwall, our next championship game, and that's massive. Leeds do need a bit of a break now. 4 games in 10 days, and Leeds have been zapped when it comes to energy, you know, just general fitness. I feel we've looked leggy in the last 2. It's probably the first couple of times in the season where Leeds have looked a little bit not right. You know, we've had players and we've been questioning. You know, I have to say, everybody, you know, I always will try, come on this channel and be brutally honest with you guys. I think I said at the start of the game that Byram should have been in there. I still sort of feel that, but then you look at Junior's wicked ball in for the first goal, but I did think he struggled positionally. Joseph for Bamford, I have to be honest with you, I thought that was Bamford's best performance of the season. I thought he was impeccable. I thought his role in the second goal was instrumental. A brilliant goal by Leeds United. Archie winning a free kick, giving it to the Wednesday player, which I loved. A little bit of Yorkshire Derby grit. Meslier lofting the ball up, which he does often, but to an accurate standard, I would question. And it's a lovely little knock-on by Pat Bamford. He pins the defender completely. Rutter wins that second ball. Rutter plays the ball forward, a really nice ball beyond the defender, and Rutter times it perfectly because Nonto has to also time it perfectly, but that is dictated by the ball over from Jorginho Rutter behind the defence, and it's a fantastic whip finish by Willie Nonto, and it has to be said that put the nail in the proverbial coffin of Sheffield Wednesday. But a really nice start to the second half, which showed our capabilities. You know, we are a better team than Sheffield Wednesday. We have a higher level than Sheffield Wednesday. We have a Premier League ceiling. And it was a little bit disappointing that we got dragged into their game a little bit. But unlike the Huddersfield Town game, of which there was quite a few of you watching on the watch along there, on the One Leeds watch along, nice to see a lot of Huddersfield Town fans in the chat. You know, that seems to have been their league win the other day. You know, even though they lost 1-0 the other day, they beat the mighty Leeds United. What was it, 1-1? Lift that invisible trophy up. But there were a lot of them in the watch along chat. So shout out to Huddersfield Town fans for that excellent win they got the other day. But yeah, listen, Leeds were definitely the better team, and it's been a good result tonight. I was a bit worried, as I mentioned at the start of the game. I think they came into it full of confidence, and we did, obviously, and I think that was maybe overseen. I will say that, you know, I was coming into it a little bit nervy, but I wasn't overlooking Leeds United. I feel like a lot of the media, Andy Hinchcliffe's there before the game doing a special piece on Danny Roll and Sheffield Wednesday, and I thought, is there another team in this? Is Leeds United in this conversation, or are we talking about Sheffield Wednesday just up until the kickoff, really? But Leeds, when they're at the Pom, are always going to blow Huddersfield away. Leeds at the Pom are always going to blow a Rotherham, a Millwall, Watford, a Sheffield Wednesday away. We're too good. We're simply too good for this division in so many aspects. And it was fantastic to see at the end there. We took the game away from them. And it felt like Daniel Farke got it right, because in the second half, in my opinion, well, the first half, I should say, he went into that halftime changing room and turned around to every single one of them and said, that is not acceptable. Because we were getting dragged down again. And Farke showed, in my opinion, elements of frustration after the Huddersfield game. He knew that we should have won the game, but he was annoyed, in my opinion, by Leeds getting dragged into their game. And it felt once again that we were getting dragged into their game. And that's not good enough. You play your own game when you're as good as we are at this level. And as soon as you play your own game, we start to take their soul away in this game. And we did that. And the quality showed, the caliber showed. Leeds United were by far the better team in that second half in so many embers. And it started showing the quality difference, in my opinion, when they started getting really desperate toward the end, when they're playing those long balls and they're trying to win those big headers, and they bring Michael Smith on, and you're thinking, right, okay, well, this is the difference between Premier League and League One. And I am not for one saying Leeds United are in the Premier League and are going to be in the Premier League, but the talent that we have on the pitch is Premier League, and the talent, a lot of their talent that they have on the pitch is League One. Let me just talk to you guys about sort of some of the frustrations I had in the first half. Then a midfield which was in a low to mid block, which was compact, as we said on the preview it would be. Danny Roll's done that in multiple games, including Blackburn and Leicester, where he's made that midfield difficult to play through, and he's forcing it out wide, where he makes it one-on-one, and he's confident in his fullbacks to deal with that, or the covering centre-back to deal with that as a three at the back. But their midfield comprises of Liam Palmer, Marvin Johnson, and Barry Bannon. An average age between them probably of about 34, 35. That's not good enough. Gruev, Kamara, I thought handbrake on, risk averse in that first half. And I have to say, Ampadu was astronomical in that first half. Every time he's getting the ball, playing it long. But it's not just long. It's not hoofball. It's specific. It's drilled. The right flight path on it. Accurate. And just quality. And Ampadu was taking a lot of the reins of what the midfield should have been doing, in my opinion. But what I will say tactically is, when you do have a double pivot, they're consistently pressed on. So Ampadu, being a centre-back at this moment in time, has a lot more time on the ball, can see the pitch. So that was working to good effect. And that could be a tactical thing from Daniel Farke. He might instruct his central midfielders to just play short passes. I mentioned earlier on in the day that Leeds are second bottom when it comes to switches. We do not switch the ball. We were top of the division when it came to Marcelo Bielsa's side, because that's all we ever did. And it would isolate wingers against fullbacks, which always worked for Leeds. And I think we have the wingers in this division to isolate fullbacks and kill them. But it's not a Daniel Farke way of playing, which is fine. Daniel Farke is very different to Marcelo Bielsa. I feel that Daniel Farke is a little bit more possession-based, heavily possession-based, I should say, whereas Marcelo Bielsa was possession-based, but I think he's a little bit more of the Jurgen Klopp's, a little bit more dynamic in terms of getting forward and attacking the defence. And that's where there are mass differences between the two. But I would say that I think that style of football would help Leeds United, because I think we have the personnel to exploit this division with, in my opinion. However, that's not how we play, and we are playing through teams now in with good effect. But I do feel there is a massive onus at this minute, without Pascal Struijk in the team and without Ethan Ampadu in the middle, for Ampadu and Rodon to play those long balls, because Gruev and Ampadu will not do it. They will not play. Gruev and Kamara will not play those long balls. It will not happen. And I think they are a little bit risk averse with that handbrake on. I think you saw that in the first half. As soon as Ampadu started getting on the ball, moving into the midfield, his natural position, playing those balls, Leeds looked completely different. I thought Nonso in the second half was brilliant in those first 30 minutes. I thought he was electric. I thought he was sharp. I thought he was crisp. I thought he was tenacious. I love saying that word at the minute, but there are so many words. That word can describe so many Leeds United players at this moment in time. And I thought Nonso came into his own in that second half. I thought Somerville was a little bit off it tonight again. Rutter was a little bit off it, but obviously he's contributed to goals. But I have to say, it was a wonderful save from Beadle at the back. Beadle in net, I should say, not at the back, but technically at the back. But a really good save from their goalkeeper from Christensen Somerville, which should have made it 3-0. But I will have to say to Ilan Meslier, who nearly made a howler in the second half from a speculative shot from 25 yards out by Sheffield Wednesday. But I would say to Sheffield, to Ilan Meslier and to you guys, that I thought he made an absolutely fabulous save in the first 10 to 11 minutes when Leeds were getting drawn into the Sheffield Wednesday game and the ball was getting bobbled around in the box, and it came to, I believe it was Marvin Johnson, I might be incorrect there, and it was an excellent save, a world-class save from Illan Meslier off the heel. But then you saw the good and the bad of Illan Meslier, because in the second half, a speculative shot from 20 yards, 20, 25 yards, easy save, and he nearly turns the ball into his own net. And if Ethan Ampadu's not there, it's an absolute howler from Illan Meslier. So listen, as Damien's just said there, a much better second half all around. Leeds came into their own. They were fatigued. I felt we were tired. And we've now got another win under the belt, another clean sheet, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. And Leeds now go into the weekend with a massive rest. We can look at our opponents. We can look at what they're going to do, but also we can rest up now before the Millwall game. Let me get a couple of your comments in. James, Colm, and Bradley, all as new members. Shout out to you, legends. Let me get into a couple of your comments. Ampadu needed back in midfield, says Brandon. If a lot of you were in the chat, you can see that I've got a terrible. It's not an apple juice, everybody. Believe it or not, that is a lager. Terrible. Congratulations, great win. Let's hope Cardiff can do us a big favour tomorrow. Up the Welsh. Getting Cardiff. Yeah, exactly, Chris. So keep getting your comments in, everybody. Somerville unlucky tonight. Yeah, I didn't think he was great, mate. Rodon being given man of the match. Really, Sam? I'd have definitely given it to Ethan Ampadu tonight. The 9 days off is definitely needed. I agree, mate. It 100% was. We get a good break now. We do indeed. We've got 9 days to rest. Second half was much better because Wednesday had to change their game plan. They did, and as soon as you kill them, they go into half time and they think, do you know what, we've done a job on Leeds. We've held back. We've stayed strong. We've done a job on Leeds United. Nothing else needs to be done. Simple. We go into the second half. We sort of carry on with those set pieces and we kill Leeds when it comes to a corner. And they're just going to be, infiltrated by our game plan. But that goal at the end of the half killed them. It absolutely killed them. And, Leeds came out in the second half. Were a lot better. Farker definitely got stuck into them at halftime, in my opinion. They were not good enough in that first half. We do have to remember, I know they won 5 out of 6, but they've won 5 out of 6 and they're still second bottom, which shows how bad they were. It shows how bad the caliber of player they have is. When you've got Marvin Johnson, Liam Palmer, and Barry Bannon. I like Bannon, but the age isn't on his side. And that midfield altogether has probably got a combined age of about 195 years, and Leeds needed to be breaking through it, and it wasn't good enough. We're too handbrake on. Now, that's been a big criticism with Leeds United recently. But listen, much better in that second half. Much better, and Leeds get the win. Ampadu got man of the match. And Nat says, I thought the goal at halftime killed us, but no complaints there. Yeah, I agree, Nat. I think it killed you a little bit. And there was an obvious game plan. An obvious game plan from Sheffield Wednesday. It's the exact same game plan we've had from Rotherham. It's the exact same game plan we've had from many teams this season. And what else can you expect from these sides? You can't expect much more, with the caliber that we have in this team. You can't expect, them to go blow for blow with us. It doesn't really happen in this division. We've had a couple of teams do it. Swansea, Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester. But aside from that, there's not been many teams that have gone blow for blow in terms of keeping the ball and trying to kill Leeds with possession. It is completely the opposite. And some teams have been successful, other teams haven't. But listen, I thought Leeds, there were a couple of fouls in the first half, but I didn't think they were as aggressive as Huddersfield, and maybe that would have been a better game plan. And the only reason that is a better game plan is because the officiating in this division is nothing short of abysmal, and they'd have probably let everything go. A sort of studs down the heel, an awful tackle, an elbow to the face. It'll have probably been let go in this division. So, listen, Leeds did really, really well. Bamford's hold-up play, unreal. Recently turned a corner. Yeah, let's talk about Bamford. I thought he was good. I thought he was really, really good. There's more than that, Gene. There's over 900 people watching now. Please make sure you're liking the video, everybody. Get in your comments in the section below. If you don't like it, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do anything, but it'd be nice if you did like the video. But yeah, Bamford, I thought it was probably, in my opinion, his best game of the season. I thought Nonso was excellent in the second half. I thought some of those quiet Rutter, I thought was much better in that second half. The Spurs 20 minutes, he was getting hold of the ball a lot more. But Ampadu was brilliant. I thought Ampadu was brilliant. Archie and Roberts, I feel there would have been nothing between them. Firpo and Byram, probably nothing between them if either would have started. But the beauty of what you get with Firpo, and it's just the beauty of a left-footed left back, you get someone who can whip the ball in like that. See, if there is a big, there isn't more of a bigger demonstrator of why you need a left-footed left back than what Junior Firpo did for the first goal. Byram can't do that. He cannot do that from the left-hand side because he's not a left footer. So if people are genuinely expecting Byram to whip the ball in like that with his weaker foot, you're in cloud cuckoo land. And that is why on the overlap, Junior Firpo will always be a better option than Sam Byram because he's got a left foot and it's a good left foot. You know, even if it was a half decent left foot, it's better than Byram's left foot. Byram will always try and cut inside and whip the ball in on his right. And he could have done that, but there is more of an opportunity for the fullback, the centre-back, to close him down if he's cutting the ball back on his right foot, because it gives them an opportunity to get back on that check. So that is why with Junior Firpo, getting the ball out of his feet, whipping it in, is quick, and it's probably going to be more effective because he's going to be able to get a better connection on the ball. So, listen, Firpo at left back is always going to be better than right back. I was calling on Dan James to start the game over Willie Gnonto. I thought this would have been ideal for him. Willie, I thought, was inverting a little bit too much in that first half. But overall, listen, James probably affects the first half a little bit more. But Gnonto was very, very good in that second half. And we have to be honest, like Gnonto was very good in that second half. Easily top 3 players in the game. So, yeah, all good stuff. Jay says, no one played badly today. But some players need to get tuned into the game a bit quicker. Yeah, Jay, I wouldn't disagree with what you say there, mate. And you know why I wouldn't disagree with what you say? Because it's all well and good us getting that opportunity at the end of the first half and scoring. And that's what it's all about now, Jay. Winning. Win the game. Win. I couldn't give a you-know-what about performances. But why I talk about performances a lot is because performances normally lead into results. But that's a seasonal thing. We're into the last, 8.5, 9 weeks now? It's business end. Business end. And if Leeds are keeping clean sheets still and getting results still, it's only positive. It's only positive. I do still think there's a bit of this team, and we don't want to focus on this now because we don't, and I don't care. I don't want to focus on this too much right now. But I think a lot of this team, in my opinion, gets ripped up in the Premier League. With some of the mistakes they make. There was a couple of transitional moments in the first and second half where I think you get a top team and they kill Leeds off. And we've seen that very, very recently. But I think the 49ers are going to be ruthless. And that's why I'm really excited about the 49ers, because I don't think sentiment's going to be involved like it was with the old lot. I think there's going to be a real business plan here. And I think they know who needs to be replaced and what needs to be done. That's what I think. But I'm really excited with what the future holds with this Leeds side. And we've got a nice little break now, 8-9 days towards Millwall. Rest, recuperation. Millwall come to Ellen Road. They've got a half-decent record at Ellen Road, I have to say, but we're not basing this on historical memories. We're not basing this on past endeavours. We need to be looking at the here and now. And with Daniel Farke's side, we've gone down to Millwall, took them apart, and we're against Neil Harris, who is a player and a manager as relative success against Leeds United. But Daniel Farke is the more astute coach. He's the more tactically, sort of able coach. And Leeds United have a much better team than Millwall. But we are going to be expecting the exact same game as what we saw against Huddersfield, as what we saw against West Brom, as Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, where they're trying to keep the ball out of play as long as possible. They're trying to kick Leeds up and down the pitch, and they're trying to win on set pieces. Look, the game plans are really simple for a lot of these teams in and around the bottom. The reason behind that is because they cannot match Leeds United when it comes to calibre, quality, any of that. So all Leeds have got to do is match them with endeavour, energy, fight, desire, passion. And if they match them up with those 5 things, the rest should flow. It should absolutely flow. So that's all the good things when it comes to Leeds United. Connor, I'll let your vid as you asked so politely. Ames, thank you, Amy. Connor, we have to enjoy this. We don't always get scenes like this. Do you know what, Paul? You bang on. Not just football, mate. Life is too much in the future. And I get drawn into it. With Marcelo Bielsa, my biggest regret is I didn't live in the now. Live in the now, man. I didn't do it. I didn't live in the here and now at the moment because I was so anxious about my club never getting there to the Premier League. But you are right. You need to live right now in what we have, 12 wins in 13? That's never going to happen in the Premier League. We are going to be lucky to get 2 or 3 wins. Lucky in 13. Reality. So next year, when we get to the Premier League, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. You don't get a Bielsa season. You just don't. It never happens. More of these seasons are the second and third seasons that we saw with Leeds United. So we have to bask. We have to enjoy what we're seeing right now. But it just feels that this club is constantly embroiled with anxiety and painful sort of comparisons with the past. Someone said to me the other day on a Patreon video, which you can check out after this, everybody, there's podcasts on there as well. We'll be uploading more stuff on there. Link in the description below. They said, Connor, are we going to bottle this like we bottled Derby in the playoffs? And I thought, Jesus, this is why I can't sleep when it comes to this club, because I care for this club more than anything in my life. And they embroil me with pure anxiety constantly. And this is why, I'll come on and try constructively criticize, because for some reason think I'm in Daniel Farke's shoes and think that, if he does this better, if he does this better, if he does this better. But Daniel Farke is a coach with a UEFA B, probably UEFA A license, who knows more than football, more than I will ever know about football. But this is what we are as a fan base. We live in the future. We live in the past. We never live in the present. And that it's an important message. We need to start doing that. I agree, man. I agree. Professional performance for me, big win tonight. Now a good break before Millwall. Agree, mate. Leeds were definitely up for this evening, and Farke's halftime team talk did the trick. I would agree with you. Paul says 28 goals conceded in 37 games. Rock solid unit there. I'd agree. Completely agree. You thinking we'll be like Villa, Connor? Does Hawkeye work for us? Because if we stay up on the last day of the season because Hawkeye's turned off, that'd be quite nice, and then build. The problem is, like, when you get into the Premier League now, you're still restricted by money. They can't get a handle on what's going on in the Premier League. They don't know how to restrict money. They don't know how to make it an even sheet when it comes to the balance in the Premier League, because they can't. There's too much of a difference between the top and the bottom right now. There is no real hope that we'll ever win the Premier League. Every football fan, from top to bottom, thinks that they maybe will be taken over by a Saudi investor or whatever, and they'll win the Premier League or whatever at some point in their lifetimes. But the difference is just too much. So a Villa right now are getting investigated, or are going to be investigated for their spending. That's coming up. Everton spent big. They're getting investigated. Forest getting investigated. Leicester getting investigated. You can't do anything. You go up to the Premier League, you try invest, you try become a Premier League staple, you try compete. Newcastle, look, we can all have our opinions on Newcastle. The background, everything, we can all have our opinions. But if you own a business, you want to invest in the business. There's 1,000 of you in the chat. One of you, hundreds of you may own your own business. If you own a business, I own my own business. This is my own business. If I want to invest in my business, I invest in my business to make it better. The problem is the rules aren't clear, and you're getting teams absolutely hammered. You're getting teams being hammered by it at this moment in time. And it is a little bit of a worry when you get up to the Premier League, because you've got to be so careful. But then you're so careful and you get relegated because of the quality in that division. You have to invest in your side. You have to invest in your squad. But if you go too far, which is to then get to the next level of maybe we can get top 10, maybe we can get you then are at massive, massive risk of exploiting this money side of things that we're involved in right now, which is a big, big problem in the Premier League. It seems to be that the only team that I can see has got it right at this moment in time is Tottenham Hotspur, who are at a point where they stopped spending. They got into the new stadium. everybody would laugh at Daniel Levy. Why have you not spent? Why have you not spent? Why are you not spending money? Because Daniel Levy forecasted this. He knew this was coming. And they've not spent because of that on players. And they're in a really good position at this moment in time when it comes to FFP, financial restraints, whatever you want to call it. But the problem is teams who want to be ambitious, teams who want to get to that next level have to be really careful. But then you are constantly at risk of being relegated. It's a real problem, a real problem. Let's get into a couple more of your comments. Mr. P says, 3 points to start the weekend. No better feeling. That's it, mate. And let's not look too far ahead. Cheers for your donation, my friend. Nat's in the building. I think your midfield next season should be Ampadu and great. Nat, you're reading my mind, my friend. PTSD from Liam Cooper. Slide tackling Kiko Casillas. Michelle says, hi, Michelle. Hi, Connor. Was able to watch it during lunch break. Cardiff beat Ipswich tomorrow. Yeah, we need it, don't we? We need it. And listen, no team goes 10 games unbeaten, do they, in the Championship, or 11? No team does that. A general football show would be great for us in Australia. We don't get much news here. Guys, as well, it's what I'm thinking at the minute. I keep getting messages about it. Some of you guys enjoy what I say. Would you like me to do a general football show? Leave a like on the video if you would. A general football channel where I speak about all teams, not just Leeds United, and it incorporates everything. If you would, let me know in the comment section below. Hammond would already know who's staying and who's going. You'd think if we were to stay in the league. Agree with you, mate, 100%. We are only one behind Leicester on GD now. Could be massive at the end of the season. I'm so happy you've said that, Steve, because a lot of people don't take into consideration goal difference. Goal difference is massive. Goal difference is an extra point. And how tight it is right now, Southampton, Ipswich, Leicester, Leeds United, if we've got a better goal difference than all of our counterparts right now, that's an extra point. For me, with how tight it is, your goal different. And that's what everybody knows. That's why Farker always talks about clean sheets, but he also talks about how many goals we're scoring. You've got to have that balance correctly. In the Premier League, you guys would get annoyed at me. I'd always go on about goal difference. I think goal difference is absolutely massive when it comes to going up, when it comes to going down, when it comes to getting your fortunes, Europa League, Premier, Champions League, whatever it might be. Goal difference is huge. Huge. You see leagues won on goal difference. See teams going down on goal difference. To not take that seriously is a massive, massive mishap. Performances breed confidence, but getting points on the board is more important than pretty football. I think with the amount of games we've had recently, we've done exactly what we need to do. Yeah, you're right, Jay. I think we've done much better, mate, than I thought we would have done, which is great. Yeah, excellent suggestion, Connor. Paul wouldn't like that. Would like to know how your experiences working with Man City. Yeah, man, definitely. I could definitely speak about that. There's nothing to be taken away from the Leeds side, guys. Nothing to be taken away from the Leeds side. It'd just be more generic stuff as well, incorporated with that. Gabe's in the building. Actually, before we get to Gabe, Connor, please do your Farker impression. Well, that was a great result. My team were so good tonight. A clean sheet on the board, and I loved my players. My players are probably Premier League level, I have to say. And I have to say as well, thank you to all of Conor McGilligan subscribers on One Leeds. A great bunch of lads who subscribe to his channel to hear some articulate, intelligent content, but also passionate and maybe quite erratic. Thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm also a big chocolatier. Daniel Farker. There you go. It's certainly massive when the difference between first and third is something like 3 to 4 points. You bang on the money, mate, 100%. Goal difference is something. Where's the link for the merch? Wouldn't mind a coffee cup. Be surprised if it keeps in one piece, though, to Australia. Brad, it's all coming, mate. It's all coming as well as a sexy new website. Don't you worry about that, mate. Does AJ beating Garnu? He does indeed, mate. He does indeed. My comment can only look great now because of his horrific. Listen, it's not a horrific impression. It's not a horrific impression. Look at this. Fraser knows. You're just a hater, Gabe. You've always been a hater, mate. Just jealous of the accent. Parker needs to hear that. Who sold Leif Davis? You bang on, mate. Who sold him? I thought I'd tune into TV that was waiting on Dorigo impression too. We've had Dorigo on the channel, mate. Dorigo, great guy. Wicked R says, love the backing settings. The lighting is very nice. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Southampton getting their game postponed at this time of year is not great for them. Good for us. It is because points on the board is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Yeah, there's some great comments coming in now. Listen, everyone, it's been 30 minutes from me. I'm heading over now to my Patreon to do my player ratings. Thank you so much. It's been a really, really nice evening. It has to be said. Leeds have won, but the watch along was mega. The numbers were great. The comments were great. The engagement, interaction was all fantastic. Tonight, it's been brilliant with the post match. So please make sure you like the video. Listen, a lot of the times I'm right, you're wrong. You're right, I might be right. Who knows? That is how football works. And I've really enjoyed just the engagement, the discussion, the debate, and the interaction with all of you guys. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, any likes, comments, and all that sort of stuff. And please make sure you subscribe. I really, really appreciate all of you. You don't have to be with me during these evenings, and I really appreciate you doing so. I'm just a Leeds fan doing this because I love the club and I love a bit of interaction with you guys. So thank you so much. Head on over to the Patreon if you want some bonus content. I'm off now. We'll be back with 3 things tomorrow, and we might have a little bit of a deep dive into a certain player. Guys, have an enjoyable evening. Have a cracking weekend, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.